Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sales Unscripted podcast. This is your host, or one of them, Margaret Henny.
Thank you for correcting yourself. I'm the other host, Brian Neal. I thought I was on your show. I thought I was a guest on Margaret's.
Host.
I'm the host, Margaret
Welcome
Henny.
to my show.
There's another dude
Brian
here.
Neal, this old guy.
Thanks for having me. This old guy. Look at you. We're a little sassy today, aren't we?
Not old like
Margaret.
O-L-D, old like O-L-E.
Oh,
like, you know
like
what I mean?
That's
Like
a great save.
that old.
It's a good.
That old
old
thing.
guy.
This old thing. You know when someone's like, "What a great dress," and you're like, "This old thing."
Your theater kid's coming on. Speaking of, do you do TikTok? Do we talk about this?
I don't do TikTok. So actually, though, plug for Co-Video. We have like a new marketing specialist. Her name is Ashley. I'm obsessed with her.
Yay.
And she is getting us going on all things social media that I have been woefully lacking on. And one of them is a TikTok channel.
Well, as a consumer, you do TikTok. Now you got to be careful because it's addictive. Their algorithms are great, but you get served these things that you watch, at length. Yes. And one of the things that I get served, you're a theater kid, true?
Yeah, true.
Yep, theater. And I was a theater kid, kind of. I was a tech kid.
Yeah.
I get served the spring musical announcement reveals.
Oh my God.
From choir teachers.
That gives me such butterflies.
Awesome.
I remember those
awesome.
days. Wait.
So all the kids are in the class, and the theater choir director, he or she is sitting there, and they're doing these trickery reveals, and and the kids go crazy when they see it.
Oh,
and they do the spring reveal now.
God.
I mean, right?
Yes.
They got it. It's a long time to get ready.
I forgot about the reveal.
The big reveal, and kids go crazy.
Oh my
And the
gosh.
reveals have been fun. The one was Grease.
Yes.
Which is just fantastic.
So fun. We couldn't do Grease. It was too racy for my small little Indiana community.
Seriously. I'm like, serious. But I wondered if you answered my question. Yeah. Did they do that back in the day? Because I wasn't such a theater kid that I was there for the reveal.
Yes. But we did it a little bit different because I went to a really small school, but we loved theater. I did. Yep. And what was great about going to a small school is that everybody did not everybody did everything, but you didn't necessarily have just theater geeks and just band nerds and just jocks. Yeah. Like football players were in the spring musical, awesome. And like cheerleaders were in marching band. Like it was just like it was a different vibe. But anyway, so they did the announcement at the last performance of the fall play. So in the fall, we did a play. Right. In the spring, we did a musical. Yes. The musical was always way more fun than the play.
Always.
So it was a way bigger deal. But there was like little clues that like the director would give. And then they would like have this announcement. And we would be like freaking out, wondering who it's going to be. And then, of course, you're already casting. Like, oh my God, Israel is totally going to be Curly. Stuff like that.
Is Israel a real person?
Yes, of course. Israel Peterson. And he absolutely played Curly in Oklahoma.
That is so funny. Mm-hmm. I love that. So cheers to all the theater kids out there.
Yes.
Watching those reveals.
Theater
it's really fun. So what all we did? We did My Fair Lady. We did Annie.
Oh, that's so fun.
We did Noises Off.
That's a hard one to
play,
do.
especially
You
for high
guys
school
must
kids.
have been good. You got to have the timing.
It was good. It was a really good theater group.
Oh my
really
gosh, that's
theater,
so fun.
Really,
my
really
big
great.
Senior musical was Guys and Dolls.
Oh, fantastic.
And I got to be Adelaide.
Oh, fantastic.
And I had this great New Jersey accent. It was so great.
All right, where's the sales podcast?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, not
Maybe
theater,
we should
not
start
theater.
a theater podcast.
That's a different one. We'll have to come up with a different name.
Okay, so we're going to combine topics. We have topics, right? We're unscripted, so we just came up with them and press play.
I know what mine is, obviously. I don't know what yours is.
Mine's secret. I'll reveal. So you start with yours, and I'll roll mine into yours.
Okay.
Your topic is.
So I am curious your take, and I'll give you my take on this as well, and what everyone else thinks about the importance of one-on-ones for sales reps and their managers or leaders or whatever.
Yes.
I have to tell you, this is a big topic of conversation at my company right now, right? Like, I think some people feel that this is like the crux of their coaching. Other people are like, this is a waste of my time. I don't want to be doing it. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe not everybody has to agree, but I just wonder what your take is because you've, had longer in the biz and, I think people approach it differently. It, of course, matters. What are you talking about, right? Like, that's the biggest thing.
You age shaming me?
No.
Did you just age shame me?
Dude. You're being so sensitive today.
I am. I'm a sensitive human. I really am. That's funny. I just caught that. It's just things that we say that we don't think anymore. I never would have ever thought of that, but now in this day and age, I'm thinking like everything someone says. I'm saying
you have experience, and you're like, you're calling me old?
Jerk. This is great. That's funny, though. I had to call you on that. Let's see. I'll try to be less sensitive in our next episode.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I validate your feelings.
So thank you. I appreciate that.
They matter.
Yes. And I don't. The funny part is that there's like rage doesn't register to me at all. Like not one iota do I think or feel anything. I'm just like I feel very present.
I've gotten better about it over the years.
Seriously?
I used to be weird about it.
Are you serious?
Totally.
Yeah, Steph was kind of weird about it too.
When I was going to turn 30, meltdown city. Yeah, but then you get in your 30s and you're like, whatever.
Seriously, you just I don't know. I've never had any of that. I'm lucky that way.
Anyway,
so I have been doing a thing, I don't know what you call it, a process that sounds awful, called inspection. We have been inspecting open opportunities. And by inspecting, I mean inspecting. We've been doing them in training groups, but they're meant to be done in a one-to-one setting with my manager.
Okay.
So you're the salesperson, I'm the manager, vice versa, and I'm asking you questions about your deal.
Yes.
I use a rubric, a 4-part rubric.
Okay.
Motive, money, process, and clear future date are the 4 things: motive, money, process, clear future date.
Okay.
Here's how the inspection goes, though. So I'll be the manager. You're the person, and I say,
okay.
And you're maybe one of my top people, and I trust you immensely. So I go,
of course I
am. Margaret, do you have a clear future date? And you would say,
I do.
Say,
yes.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I just go buy it. Okay. That's not inspecting. So what I do to inspect, I say, Margaret, do you have a clear future date? You say,
yes, I do.
I say, when is it?
It is August the 4th.
What time?
Wait, it's September. It's September September the 4th at 2 p.m.
Cool. On their calendar, all set there?
Yes. See and they've agreed too.
Okay, so that little inspection bit,
yes.
I'm telling you as a manager, so I created this little thing called Think Believes. Think Believes.
Okay.
Think Believes. You will be amazed. It's like seeing the FedEx arrow. If you've never seen, you're right, the FedEx arrow, the logo, you can't unsee it. It's like this is Think Believes.
Okay.
When you're asking someone about a deal, you ask them a question about it. Pay attention to how many times they say a version of, I believe, I'm pretty sure that, I would assume that, well, not to my knowledge, that, and they don't really know their deal, right?
Guilty. I do this all
Everybody
the
does.
time.
Everybody does. Think Believes. And so I would say, do you have a clear future date? Yeah.
I think so.
You say, yeah. I go, when is it? You like Tuesday? Like what time? I think it's, I'm thinking sometime in the morning.
You're like, check it. Let's check it.
Let's check it. Let's check it.
Just
We
make
validate,
sure.
right? And we're inspecting it, not them. Now.
Yes. Good. You're inspecting it, not them.
Not them. Not them. Now, let's go back to the one-to-one.
Okay.
Why would that not be fun for you in the one-to-one?
If you don't have your shit together, it ain't gonna be fun.
It's gonna feel micromanaging.
Yeah.
Right? So now let's go back to the value of one-to-ones. Like, why don't people like one-to-ones? This is one of the reasons I think people don't like one-to-ones, because they feel like they're getting picked apart.
Yeah. But if you have, you're right, which is fine, but shoot, I can't even do it. I can't not say it.
You can't say but. I cannot say but.
If you don't have those things in place, I know personally, I would feel exactly the same way. I'd be like, if I don't have that stuff on my calendar, I'm going to feel defensive.
Right.
I'm going to be like, why are you doing me? You're putting me on blast, like whatever. But if it's like we're expecting it, not you, or not them, that's a different reframe, and it can be so helpful.
It's so helpful if we let it be.
Yes.
So to answer my take on the one-to-ones, first of all, and I teach when we teach and coach sales leaders, there's this book called The 6 Thinking Hats. It's really old. It's from like the 80s or something. But it's really good. It's a process called parallel thinking. Okay. So like we're all naturally wired to think certain ways. So I'm very optimistic. I'm very anything's possible. Okay. Stephanie, who's our CEO, is our is also my wife.
I'm
is
changing
very
something on our
practical,
screen right now. Sorry.
Click. Is very practical and very what could go wrong. And process oriented. So when we're thinking about a problem, we think about it differently, and it causes angst. So thinking hats, you put the same hat on at the same time.
Okay.
So we both put on the optimistic hat.
Oh.
She does and I do. And we think about it could be this, it could be that, da, da. Then we both put on the what could go wrong hat at the same time.
Oh, I like that.
See that? And it's called parallel thinking. That way everybody thinks the same way at the same time. It's really cool. It's by a guy named Vince DiBono, I think, or something.
Wait, I'm literally writing this down right now.
It's a great book. Especially for teams, leadership teams that have to get together. Six Thinking Hats. DiBono, D-I-B-O-N-O. Okay? So I've just adapted that model for sales leadership. Here's where the application is. And if you're a salesperson listening to this, you got to tell your sales manager to listen to this.
Yes.
Is they need to know which sales management hat they have on the one-to-one. There's a manager's hat where we're going over data and stats. There's a coaching hat. There's a cheerleader hat. Ooh. Right? I'm like, yeah, you can do it. You know, that sort of thing.
That's my favorite hat.
Right, exactly.
Surprise!
Ta-da! There's a strategist hat where I'm thinking about, you know, things like, okay, which are we moving parts and da-da-da. Okay. And there's a leader hat, which is more about casting vision and that sort of thing.
Yep.
So if you're in a one-to-one, you need to know what kind of one-to-one you're in. The problem with one-to-ones and why I think people don't like them is because they're all those things. They're soup.
You're trying to do way too much.
Way too much.
And oftentimes, I'm guilty of this as well.
Yes.
I'll come in and be like, you know, as a leader, I normally tell my team, a little bit different because we're in marketing, right?
Yeah.
With sales, you know, slightly different, right? But I'll be like, hey, this meeting is for you. But I'll be like, what do you want to talk about?
Yes.
I should be framing context and giving options, right? Or as a leader, you know you should be more in tune with your team, where they are, how they're doing for their month or their quarter, what's going on for the companies to be like, hey, this might be a good time to put on this hat.
Totally.
And let them know ahead of time, like, this is what we're going to be tackling.
Yes.
Ooh, I like it. You're giving me gold right now. I just did a happy dance. Happy feet.
I'm also playing. If you watch this video, I'm also messing with you. So
Wait, I just snorted, and you're going to call me out on it again.
I'm not. But there's a thing. If you roll this video back, when you have it's either a camera or a mirror, this is a little psychological thing. Yeah. So we look at the camera, we can look at each other.
Yeah.
And then I go like this thing, look at you.
Yeah.
And it's natural for when I look at you to look back. I look back at the camera. Everybody does it. So I said it 4 times. You didn't even notice. Going like that. You're like,
stop. I feel like a cat.
No, you're not.
Who's like seeing themselves in the mirror, like
little laser pointer.
Yeah.
We'll watch that video back. That's
That'll
funny.
Be good. That'll be good.
And it's hard not to look at me when I
can't.
do this.
Don't. Now I'm like forcing myself. I'm like, don't look at him. Stop it. I can't not look at you. They do this in elevators too, right? When
Everybody
someone
does.
Turns around.
They do. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, it's funny. Sorry.
Wait, I have a question for you though, because this was
ones.
great. You had these 4 things where it was CFD was the last one,
but
it was motivation.
Motive. So why are they doing this? So if you're selling co-video, why are they doing co-video?
Yeah.
They want their salespeople to be better at interacting. We want more interaction,
authenticity,
authentic, whatever.
Yeah, we're trying to engage people
instead
more.
of going, okay. So when we do the rubric, whatever the first answer is 0.0. The inspector goes to 0.1 and 0.2. They go too deep.
Okay.
At least. Then they can go to infinity if they want.
Okay.
So you heard me inspect the clear feature date earlier? That's the thing.
Okay.
So
you don't have to do all 4 then. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you do all 4.
You do all 4.
So I would inspect money. So I'd say, okay, you're selling co-video. So have you guys talked about money? Yeah, I sent them pricing. Instead of going, oh, good, okay. Yeah. I go, how did they react to the pricing?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't talked to them yet. So you sent it over blind?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have any interaction? You had zero dialogue whatsoever?
Just followed up afterwards.
Do you know, do you happen to know their average deal size?
I don't.
See what I mean?
No.
You just keep inspecting further. Just that 2 or 3 sessions deep.
So when you're talking about money too, you're not just talking about like, hey, have you talked about budget? What are they willing to spend?
Correct.
Have you talked about
the whole thing? All of it.
All the
money,
economics.
all the economics.
Love it.
Process, same thing. So
process was the
third. So do you have a go-no-go date? Yeah. Oh, cool. Instead of doing that, I go, yeah, when is it? What did they say? Well, they got to talk to the CFO. Okay, what's her name?
Decision-making process. Is that what we call it? Decision-making process, not decision makers?
You got it.
Yeah, we talked about that before. I'm learning.
So this, you know a lot already. So
she can be taught.
But I think the takeaway from the one-to-ones and the inspection thing. So inspection can be a type of meeting. If you know what type of meeting it is, it's a better one-to-one for you. I know what to expect. I'm going to get inspected in this one. If I'm in a cheerleader meeting, like, hey, this is just a kind of a pump up, see where your head's at, maybe therapy session, then you know what? We're not going to talk about deals. We're not going to go through pipeline, none of that. I'm like, how you feeling? Oh, my head's kind of in the shitter right now. What's going on? What are you doing to get right? It's that therapy session. If it's a deal work session. It's not even inspection. It's like, okay, let's bring a deal. We'll work through
deal.
it. Yes.
Yeah,
let's work through it, strategize. What about this? Can we send them this? Can we do that? We're strategizing together.
Because usually a one-to-one, I don't know about everybody else, but for us, we got 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you got to focus up.
Yes,
like this is your time with your sales manager or director or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of his or her time normally. You know, unfortunately, I don't know about you, but can be really spread thin.
Totally.
So it's like, hey, let's both be present. Let's both have a goal. I love that. Okay.
Define the type of one-to-one. That's a takeaway. And if you're listening to this, you're a salesperson, forward this to your manager and saying, hey, boss, would you please do what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just it's just we know what it is.
I think they'll love you for it too, because then
it's so much easier.
If there's a plan in place, I'm trying so hard not to look at you. if there's a plan in place, it's easier for everybody, and you know what's expected. Because as a manager too, I'm like a lot. I don't want to come to it and be like, what are we talking about? Because I'm going from one meeting to the next, and I can always be better at my job. And if I knew that there was a plan, by God, I'm going to follow it.
Yeah. And if you're the manager, and let's say my sales behavior is way off, and you do the, hey, you're meeting, and I go, okay, cool, Margaret, I want to talk about, I want to talk to you about a LinkedIn social strategy that I want to employ. So you're going, okay, and you're telling me like, but you haven't made a fucking sales call for 2 weeks, but you want to talk about but you set it up saying it's my meeting. I'm like, cool, I want to talk about a LinkedIn video series that I want to do.
Yeah.
You're kind of forced into a corner as the leader going, time out. So
the leader has to set what kind of meeting it is.
Absolutely. This is a management meeting. What we're going to do in the manager's meeting, the management one-to-one, we're going through all of your stats.
Yeah. Okay.
All your behaviors, all your outputs, your funnel, the size of funnel, all the closing percentages. That's the manager's one-to-one.
Got it. So it's obviously going to be different for each of your reps, depending upon who they are, how they're performing, where their head's
what
at,
they need,
what they need. All of that sort of thing.
We can have a no agenda. We can have a no agenda meeting if you want. You have a therapy session.
Just real quick, because I love a good wrap up too. What are those? What are those types of meetings again? Will you tell me one more time?
Yeah, sure. So you've got a manager's meeting. That's where we're looking at all of the dashboard stuff. Okay, that's the manager.
Got it.
We have a deal strategy session.
So like one specific deal you're bringing to the table
to strategize about. Okay. Yep. We have an inspection meeting where we're going to inspect the deals that are in the funnel about to close very deeply.
Love it.
Okay. We have a therapy session.
Yeah.
Therapy one-to-one.
Is that the cheerleading or different?
That would be cheerleading.
Okay.
The cheerleading hacks. I'm going to be supportive as a counselor.
Love it.
That
Love
sort
it.
of thing.
Oh, coaching.
And coaching will be the second one. So let's role play. Let's practice. Let's listen to some calls.
Yeah.
Grade some calls, stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Such good takeaways in this one.
It's a good one, isn't it?
Wow. I can't wait to write the wrap up for it. Stop looking at me.
We need to do that thing from
you have to watch the video to understand what we're talking about, by the way, guys.
Everybody can see that, right?
Well,
have you seen the skit on Saturday Night Live where they do the animated, the animatronic?
No.
You've never seen that skit?
No.
Oh, it's really
Are you talking about the robot?
Yeah. Where they go,
Stop. No, I don't know.
Like that?
Don't. It's creeping me out.
It's really funny, isn't it? Okay.
Good one.
That's good, isn't it? So we kind of combine topics there. You see I got my inspection thing in there, one-to-one. Themed one-to-ones, that's the trick.
So
Tell your
one-to-ones,
boss themed one-to-ones work if they're themed.
If they're themed.
Yes, if they're themed. If they're just hodgepodge, don't even bother.
I love it.
What a waste.
All right. Take it and go.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.